Jude. Now, this morning, Inside Rivers, we look at vandalism. That's where we start off this morning. Now, my question is this: how can residents, people like you, and you, listening to us this morning, how can residents be encouraged to protect public property? Now, you see, in the news, 2 persons suspected of vandalizing street lights have been arrested by the Fargo Security Watch. Interesting. Now, they were arrested near the Fruit Garden axis of D-Line in Port Harcourt City in the early hours. This was yesterday. Now, the chairman of the Fargo Security Watch, was that Saturday? Now, Victor Haji said that the suspects were caught when his team responded to a distress call. Imagine what could have brought them out. Take a listen to that, please.
This morning around 2 o'clock, my boss in the Fruit Garden Market called me that Oga Komo, these boys that used to vandalize this government armored cable have come again. They are vandalizing armored cable in D-Line area there, and they are also breaking shop. That there are more than 10. Immediately I swing into action with my men who move to the scene. On reaching that place, the boys sighted us and started running. We'll be able to arrest 2 of them and hand over to Lower Passenger Police Station for proper investigation.
Right, so they swung into action. Individuals who were vandalizing cables and metals, you probably see them around. But this morning, it's not just those individuals, whether you call them scavengers or in this case, this is a clear case of vandalism, all right, and the police obviously will be investigating. But the question once again is, how can the residents be encouraged to protect public property? Because apart from those individuals who pilfer, who vandalize, infrastructure, public installations, fences, wires, and things like that, some of you also vandalize property. Now, just before the East West Road had its new look with the bridge, talking about the Rumokoro flyover, you would see graffiti. That is when people come and decide to paint indiscriminately on public surfaces, on walls. The median, right, used to be littered with graffiti all over. And I mean, those days, if not sometimes, I see sometimes, I don't know if they wash it off with the painting, but you see inscriptions, sometimes on fences, right, particularly around that Rumokoro axis, right? You see the graffiti going for nearly 2-3 fences down the road. You just wake up in the morning. In fact, there was a period when anytime we're coming to Rumokoro Market, I was very certain I was going to see a new painting, a new inscription on those walls. And no, this was not government inscription. This was, like I said, this was defacing property. They move away from there. Almost every bridge, right? Almost every part of Port Harcourt that you have, where people can go rest their head, a street corner, you would find bills littered everywhere. Even when you see the inscription very clearly posted on the wall, post no bills. People go there, vandalize the surfaces. When we hear vandalism, people think, oh, manhole covers, the fence, the light, the barbed wire, the street lines. Yes, but there are other forms. But you see why this sort of bit doesn't get to be talked about? It's because people don't care. But then again, if you come into a clean city, I'll give you a very great example. When you go into Uyo, you do not see graffiti lined as much as you get to see in some parts of Port Harcourt. And once again, when we talk about vandalism, it's not just those who destroy, and steal manhole covers. Sometimes people who, listen, you probably are one of them, people who damage bus terminals. If you look at some of the bus terminals around Port Harcourt, they've been broken. The plastic or the metal that was there, some of them have been pilfered. If not that the benches are made of cement and maybe solid steel, maybe they would have been taken as well. But these things are done by regular Joes, regular people like you and me. So, what exactly can be done so that you, myself, and the next person beside you would protect public infrastructure?
And now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
As always, turn down the volume of your radio set and refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Very importantly, please do not make inciting statements. The numbers to call 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on Twitter, aka X, at Nigeria Info PH. All right, then WhatsApp. All right, send us a message to 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. Are we good? Now, let's join Michael, who's our first caller. Michael is speaking to us from Borokiri. Michael, good morning to you, please.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning, Michael.
Yeah, happy New Week, sir.
Wish you the same, please. Thank you. Welcome, please.
Yes, thank you. Talking about, Jude, in this part of all the Port Harcourt Township, I don't know, it will be very difficult, but just like a follow-up to the program, your colleague anchored before he took over. I want to appeal to the zero crime people to see how they can come into Old Port Harcourt Township to make most of us, I believe myself and many others want to really volunteer to how to curb this menace, but we can't do it on our own.
Fine. But Michael, well, I understand. Michael, sorry to interrupt you, but I understand that I was listening to Ifeemi earlier on, and yes, the idea of volunteer services is pretty good. Now, apart from volunteer services, I know that Port Harcourt Township very well, and I have a few friends, and I'm sure maybe one of them will probably get back to me on this one. Maybe someone can call him and let him know. Abba Karibo knows PH Town very well, the back of his hand. But just like you, there are always complaints about how people either write things on the wall indiscriminately. Public infrastructure, the civic center, for example, no matter how many times they paint it, and somebody will go there, scratch the wall, break the door. Is it the government that needs to come and use cane to flog you not to do it?
The problem is that in this part of town, you hardly hear of what is called CDC. I don't know whether maybe they think CDC has to do with people that are the village. CDC has to do with anywhere people live. It's a community. We don't have effective CDC people here, Jude. Everybody is on his own here. Just like all of us, we are on our different islands here. We don't have good CDC. And so who do you report these boys to? Because some of these boys are also members of these outlawed court groups in town here. And you cannot report these things to them because these guys doing these things are their members. So it's difficult, Jude. It's very difficult. And Jude, lastly, please, I must commend you a lot. You are one of the OAPs of Nigeria Infos that I admire a lot. And I like people like Dayo and the rest. Jude, keep it up. You have an accommodating spirit. You accommodate all our calls, text messages. You try your best as you can. Seriously, it's a virtue I really admonish in me a lot. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's part of the job. Zion is speaking to us from GRA. Zion, good morning to you, please.
There's an African adage that said that the goat that belongs to the community dies of hunger.
Ooh.
There are historians who told us they own Port Harcourt. Ikweri people will come, Okrika people will come, this one will come. Everybody owns Port Harcourt according to history, according to documents, according to this. Now, who is taking care of Port Harcourt? Nobody. Port Harcourt is at the mercy of nobody. But they will always come with documents they own Port Harcourt. If we living here, we are not responsible enough to take care of this city. With the kind of amenities, social amenities, Port Harcourt have inherited and received from 1960 till date, if we have people who are responsible enough, most of those amenities would have been on ground and lyrics for our children to come and see as a monument for our children to testament with. We are talking about defacing Port Harcourt. It's not ghost. it is human beings. So why can't the indigenous people of Port Harcourt form vigilante in the night?
Must we? But that's the Zion. Is everything going to, as it were, redirect itself to? Oh, there must be a vigilante service.
Sir. Yes, sir. Our fathers did it. If you're expecting the Nigerian police, to do it, you will not achieve any results. We need to stand up. I was in my community. I saw my father protecting laboratories. In my community, we have one of the best laboratories in Nigeria for secondary school students, including human skeleton is there. My father took responsibility. Other men protected those amenities till date. Why can't we replicate it in our generation? Government work don't be my work, don't my papa work. You see this comment, and now government thing now, and I wanna do them now. These are comments that are precious in nature. These are comments that should be labeled as crossing the red line of our nation, but we don't say anything. Look at the flyovers, expensive materials they used to build those materials, that bridge, those flyovers. But they went and vandalized them to sell them how much? Are they good that they vandalizing it? A street that my shop is located in D-Line, robbery was going on. One day I took the pain, met the landlords. Come, let's form a vigilante here. Put a crossbar here. They say, leave him, Joe. You go sleep now. Not until they shot somebody.
Oh, dear.
I personally put a crossbar, employed about 4 guys to man there as vigilante on that street in D-Line here. It's not far. I can text it offline for you to go check it over. As I'm talking to you, it's one of the streets in D-Line. Nightlife is coming. A barber just opened a barber shop there, closed it around 9.
Okay.
So on that street, before 6 o'clock, everybody's closing away. So let us take responsibilities.
All right. Zion says take responsibility. I agree. There's some level of responsibility that has to be taken, but how do you promote that responsibility? Emelka JP Nahoda says one of the ways to reduce this regular vandalism is for the citizens to continue giving the security agencies good information that will lead to arrest of these criminals or about the activities of hoodlums. Likewise, security agencies should reciprocate in keeping the identities of the informants secret. Interesting. That's a bit of a follow-up from the conversation Ifeami had. But you have to ask, what about you? When you're walking on the streets, right, and then you pass the government building, you pass through secretariat, right? You get into the secretariat. There's a small gate. You go past it and you slam it. That's vandalism. Yes, you haven't taken the door with you home, but you've damaged it. You've damaged it. And if you go around Port Harcourt, all right, particularly the places that everybody is meant to have access to and use very frequently, you often find that some people don't care. You see, that's the real crux. Look, there is no doubt that the vandals, the scavengers that operate at night, need to be checked. There's no doubt about that, right? But what about you, the vandal in the daytime? Oh, did I forget to mention? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So when you decide to pee on walls where you're not meant to pee, you're a vandal. Graffiti, posting of bills, you're a vandal. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. Well, speaking of peeing, we'll talk about that in detail by 11 a.m. We're back after the break.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.
focus this morning is all about River State and vandalism here in River State. Now, my question still remains, how do residents get to be encouraged to protect public property? And very interesting, and Zion was making mention of this a while ago. Where did this notion that government property is not your property? Government work, I've heard this before, government work is not your work. But when something goes wrong, and in the Nigerian story, it has been going wrong for a long time, you're very vocal about the government. The government has failed us. Oh, Nigeria did this. I pay my taxes. I do this. I go left. I go right. And then they did me wrong. But have you really been doing well? Now, I paint this scenario for you. Your very comfortable home, however big or small it is, do you get somebody to come take you to the bathroom and flush the toilet for you? More often than not, you don't. More often than not, if you're wealthy enough, you probably have a cleaner who cleans around your compound, maybe a gardener, a driver to wash your vehicle. But the point is, you do your best to maintain the homeostasis, the balance, the feng shui of your building or of your apartment. But I don't understand it. For the life of me right now, I don't understand it. How when you just step away from the boundary of your immediate domain, your kingdom as it were, every other thing, can go up in flames. Everything can go up in flames. Now, you may criticize that those who are defacing public infrastructure, that would be the public buildings, the roads. Yes, the roads. Like I said, there used to be a time where it was so rampant, right? From Umpolu down, you see graffiti, inscriptions on the median. Every single day. In fact, at some point, there are banks around Rumokoro, right? At some point, I'd noticed that very often, every 3-4 months, the banks would have to repaint their wall. Because somebody just comes in the middle of the night, is all happy, and starts to paint. But I've also seen some of you, and I have to admit this, because I'm guilty, do this in school, on campuses. Pero was here. You sign it. You've now passed that on to your younger ones in secondary school. Kev D lived here. All hail the prince of the Zanga. You put it on the wall. What you would not do in your own bedrooms, you feel very comfortable expressing on the walls. Now, I'm a big lover of creativity, the creative arts. Please don't get me wrong. There are some places on this planet where graffiti has been used as a form of political statement, as a form of protest, as a form of expression, and more importantly, as a form of identification. The government, that will be the people, will gather some of the great artists, the young ones, because okay, since you like to be creative, we'll give you this wall. Paint a mural. Do something that reflects this city, or something that that somebody has done that inspires you. Victor Osimhen, last, what was that? Was that 3-4 months, 2 months ago, right? Whilst they were celebrating, or just before they celebrated Napoli's win of the Scudetto, said he was moved to tears when driving around the city of Naples, he saw a big picture of him. Big picture. It was well done. It was the most humbling experience of his life. That what he does for a living, people are literally involved in it. So much so, they idolized him. I've not seen Burna Boy's mural anywhere in Port Harcourt. I've not seen, a mural of some of the great men that have come through Port Harcourt. Where is the mural of DHSP? If you're that creative, you want to show, why don't you paint DHSP's picture somewhere that this man once headed this great city, this great state of Rivers? Why? I don't know why. Anyway, But it's okay to pee at the fence. It's okay to throw your trash on the road. It's okay to say this is government property. Nobody cares. So when you enter the secretariat, you slam the door. When you go to the hospital, former BMH, now the River State Teaching Hospital, when you go there, you scratch your car at the gate. When they tell you park left, you say no. You climb the flower bed. You're a vandal. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Stimulating and insightful
Property is it, by the way? Government roads are not your they fixed it, but when it is not drag cities back. From Jonathan, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, my dear.
Good morning.
You see, that's what we are talking. It's the only best bus stop. That one at the camp. Very clean, all the abilities inside, and it's like the fear of the unknown. Other ones, they vandalize, they move this, what they call it, the rubber plastic, something on top. That's it. They vandalize it. Nobody is monitoring them. Everything like that. And this is not time for police. Police, they don't have time for all those things. But they go about stealing these things. Even that flyover through Mukurushu, those around something, they use it for water to pass. They've removed all of them. Those steals something from where the water passes inside. Yeah. Those things, they've pulled them out. And when you enter Gallop, it will spoil your vehicle. People should go after this, but the community in particular, the vigilantes, they should be up and doing that. Most of the villages, they should involve their vigilantes to go after this. Government should employ them or use satellite, whatever.
But that's the thing, Jonathan. Should government do everything? Government doesn't help you sweep your house, but you sweep your house. Why can't people protect, like you just mentioned, that those bus stops? Why do people go there and decide to carve it out? You see some people, they'll be writing on it. Some people will even lick it and then say nonsense. Why do they do weird things at these bus stops? I don't understand it.
Yes, so the issue remains that there's no vigilante. This vigilante boy is supposed to be doing this because nobody can. If they see, they just remove their eyes. And these boys, most of them cut boys, and you immediately involve them in the village, they will go after you. Immediately involve them in the village, they go after you. And when once you see something and say something, there have a problem for you. You are not safe. Even the agents and the community leaders, these boys, those boys are after them. After them, if you venture step into their toes, they'll kill you or they'll go after you.
Oh, that's
and
terrible.
That's why the whole thing is going down like that. No separation of information.
All right, Jonathan, thank you very much. Messages on WhatsApp. We have Chika from Rumokoro. Chika, just give me a minute. This one here says, good morning, Jude. You see these vandalized assets? This is what you see when government is distant from the people. Government is about the people. For the last 8 years, the only witness... is overrated. Okay, what we witness is overrated bridges as physical development. Was there human capital development? So those who feel ignored in the scheme of things are angry. I don't justify this action though, but this is the truth. That's George. Chika is speaking to us from Rumokoro. Good morning, Chika.
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Good morning.
Welcome.
I'm really glad about this topic this morning. Because I keep telling people that, Nigerians complain about, we have bad leaders. But we as well have really, really bad followers. Half of the problem of Nigeria is its citizens. Yesterday, while I was driving under the rain through this airport road, there is this bad spot by that South Road Junction.
Yes.
That is being fixed, that is being worked on. Now, there was a blockade before a U-turn. Just, so people will use one way while they walk on the road and finish it. Yesterday, under that road, I saw two guys pushing away. They took one way because normally what people do when that road was even bad, they take one way from South Road, and run against traffic till they get a U-turn and turn and go towards the Bikwe. So since that road has been blocked, I saw two guys in the way to barricade the blockade that they used to block that road. for it to be under construction, for it to be constructed so they can use it. They were pushing it away so they could drive through. You know, and I thought I was like,
and they knew that this road was being worked on. It's not ready yet.
They know. And I was like, what's going on? Like, is it that we just lost the wicked to ourselves, or I just don't understand.
It's worrying, Chika. We have an anonymous caller out there. Do call us back. You have a right to remain anonymous. Your anonymity is your right, and that right is never going to be violated here. All right, but just be remembered there are rules to engaging us in conversations. Please, you have to turn down the volume of your radio set. You have to refrain from derogatory or defamatory comments, and also, very importantly, do not make inciting statements. We want people to have facts before you. All right, if you're not certain, just be magnanimous to say you're not sure, but please don't make general statements based on your emotions, please. All right, you're human, you have a right to be emotive, but we also call for a bit of a decorum and control. Now, this one here says, good morning, Jude. You woke up and chose violence, Abby. I was procrastinating from working on my newest novel. I totally heard the universe trolling me when you said, write that book a few minutes ago, Anonymous. All right, you know what? If you've written a book before, Anonymous, could you send me a copy, all right, at jude@nigeriainfo.fm. All right, send me a copy. I'd like to get to read it. I'm looking for something new to read. Henry is speaking to us from Mini-Olu. Henry, good morning to you, please.
Mr. Jude, how are you?
I'm well, Henry. Thank you for calling, please.
There's a saying in my place that when an abnormality lingers for too long, it becomes a norm. So what I'm trying to say, if you go along Port Harcourt, you see all those spots, especially that one at Presidential. When you check there, you see all those the changes. They built a tent there.
They built a tent?
They are selling things. It's as if.
Are you serious?
What we call.
Henry, did you just say they built a tent there?
Yes, at the back of the bus stop now.
Wow.
They are selling tea, doing their thing, their daily activities. If you go to that one at Rumola, you see people shading kai, cigarettes, they sell so many things like that. So if you go, you can see all the bus stops, they are now a selling point.
The selling point. And
you won't tell me that people have not been observing just why I'm observing. It has become a norm.
That's a very worrying trend.
My problem is in regards to what ATM Andrew was saying last time. The only time I will believe in Nigerian police is when I go to Marine Peace. I put in my wife.
Okay.
And people doing drugs again. Then I will believe that the Nigerian police are really truly working.
Well, there are stages and there are phases, Henry, but you need to do your bit and protect public infrastructure. We have a caller, it's an anonymous caller. I'd like to appreciate if it's the same person. Good morning to you, please.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Jude.
Good morning, please. I understand you want to remain anonymous?
Yes. I want to give an information. Please, you should inform Ministry of Works. Ozoba police station has most of those manholes seized from these scavengers. More than 100 pieces is in Ozoba police station, Choba police station. They should go take and check, inquire, because I saw most of those manhole covers. I think they were seized from
the vandals, the scavengers. Scavengers, yes.
So this is a piece of information they should confirm to and try to get those manholes and cover it where it's closed so that nobody can pull it out again. The Ministry of Works should wear those manholes.
Okay, all right.
Thank you for this topic, because many of all this this flyover, those barbed wire. This scavengers they've removed all airport going to airport now. They are pulling those wires from the airport to Ubirikwe, gradually pulling it out. They scale it and sell it. These things are for our good. Tomorrow we say government. Thank you for bringing this topic. God bless you, my brother.
All right, thank you very much. All right, that's an interesting view. Not holding brief for the police, but I'm very sure there's a logical reason why those manholes have not been returned. Maybe collation, maybe tracking. I don't know what it is, but it's good to know. He says he's seen them, and I think it's not going to be beyond us, to ask the heads of the police departments there at Zoba and also at Chuba, to find out if this information is true. We have to verify. We cannot ascertain. This is only a piece of information. So once again, we're taking a pinch of salt, but we appreciate that person for sharing that, and we'll also try to authenticate the report. Now, Jude, good morning. It is a norm in schools, especially university. I remember when in Uniport Hostel, you see write-ups on the walls, toilets. The funniest thing is that you never get to see or catch these people. That's the biggest worry for me. Now, I know in secondary schools, because like I said, I have indicted myself because I also saw this secondary school. Maybe because I was young, I didn't know better. But, by the way, I never did that, by the way. I never, scribbled on the wall, graffiti. I never did that. But I'd see my friends. I'll see my seniors. Baba K was here. Bam! One long signature. Everybody feels good. You deface the wall. But guess what? Whenever, and sometimes they would do these things, right, with charcoal. And then they will not send us, the junior students, to wash those walls after the seniors have left school. That was one of the worst punishments I think I ever had to experience back in secondary school. I was paying for someone else's stupidity and idiocy. It was sheer buffoonery. And look, I understand the excitement, the ecstasy, the exhilaration that you've just graduated, or maybe for those who deface the secretariats across the state, whether it's local, state, or federal, or those of you who decide that the toilet is not nice and fancy enough for you, and there's a toilet, you come out and go to the back of the building and make that place your watering hole, right? Where all come, feed, and then you decide to pee. More about that later on. More about that. But I can understand that people are excited, but come on. You damage it because it's not your property. Where did this come from, really? How do we even reverse it? Now, going on, it says, this is so wrong. Some would say, no be my papa property, so it no consign me. Vandalism is bad, period. Chair goes in from Abuja. So, it's not your father's property. Let me ask, right? Let me put this to you, particularly for those of you who have thoughts and still feel the same way that government property is not your father's property. Now, if it's not your father's property, right? Imagine if someone else came into your house and scribbled on the wall and said, after all, that'll be my papa property. Just for a second, just imagine if that was the case. How would that make you feel? Like I said, I haven't been to Uyo. This is 2023. I haven't been to Uyo in about 4 years now. But I remember every single time I visit Uyo in the past, I didn't see the type of vandalism, the defacement, the graffiti. I didn't get to see that in Uyo. Look, Uyo is not El Dorado. It's not paved in gold or anything. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, as well, put Uyo over River State. No, but I'm saying that whatever the people there were doing to protect their own infrastructure, why can't it be done here in Port Harcourt? What exactly? Please, once again, I need to ask, if you are in Uyo and you're listening to me or you're from Uyo, please, maybe you should tell us in Port Harcourt, what is in the air that you breathe over there that makes Uyo people not react like this? Because I don't get it. I totally don't understand it. All right. Top of the morning to you. It surprises me, this on WhatsApp, that the federal government cannot protect its assets that's generating revenue into the country when giving out pipeline surveillance contracts to civilians, when we have police, civil defense, and army that's constitutionally empowered to protect properties in the country. It's unfortunate, thank God. All right, it's unfortunate that, okay, that's another way. Maybe there's no constitutional authority to do that, to protect public infrastructure. Do we need to have, what you call them, the NSCDC everywhere? Braid is speaking to us from Oginiba. Braid, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Yeah, Jude, I don't know how we get to this point in any case, but the truth is that everybody needs to protect government property. And what is the problem, the way I look at it, the problem the masses have. Now, if you saw somebody who is trying to remove manhood or any government belonging, and you try to arrest the person, the police will tell you, come and write your statement. And before you write your statement, they will tell you some certain stories that you cannot even afford and you don't even expect to afford. And sometimes you that brought that person, you will just see yourself as a foolish person because you even be there, the person has been taken on pay. That is the way I look at it. That's why people are nonchalant about government property. Because right here in a youth Samson Bolokri, there is this solar light that NDT all over. And there are some group of people, they went as far as to remove the batteries and the solar panels.
That's terrible.
Yes, and the chairman of the polo took them to call the police and arrest them. What happened? Within a space of time, they've been released. And tomorrow, do you think that somebody could be able to do such a thing? So that is the kind of problem the people have. It's not that they don't want to protect government property. That is not the truth.
Okay, right. It doesn't feel that they don't want to protect government property, which is their property. All right. The most pathetic of all vandalizing and defacing is the destruction of flyover, the conversion of bus stops, Rumola, to residential areas by destitute, petty sales on major roads, the metropolis. I mean, what's the local and state government doing in charge of maintaining social sanity and decorum in the state? Our Celia is asking. Your guess is as good as mine.
Are you hoping to start university this October? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join